I'm Michael from Malta. I represent the Foundation for Educational Services, all right? And I am glad to be here with you to share our experience with you, all right? So, first and foremost, let's put things into perspective, all right? We consider Malta to be the gem of the Mediterranean. It's a very subjective perspective, but just as much as you consider Ireland as the Emerald Isle, we consider it as a gem of the Mediterranean. Malta is the 10th smallest country in the world, but the 4th most densely populated country, right? These things bear an impact on our provision of services, you'll see as we go along, all right? We are actually very small, but we are big at heart, all right? With a very big heart. Just 27 kilometers with 14.5 kilometers width, that's all right? Everywhere is close by, all right? Unless you're caught in traffic. Because that is a nightmare, believe me. Yes, Malta is just double the size of Dublin, just to give you an idea, but less than 1% of the whole of Ireland, all right? Our unemployment rate stands at the moment at 3.5%. That is very low. And that puts a constraint on our service, all right? Because we are almost at full employment, and that means that people would like our services. But then, when we look for workers, we do not find. And that is a major concern. Yes, we are cosmopolitan and multicultural. To be able to manage our economy, Malta is literally importing employees, all right? We're importing third world country employees, we're importing Eastern European to work in Malta. Obviously, they have their own families, and that impinges on the educational system as well, all right? So that adds to our problems, actually. Yes, we are renowned for our sea, for our lovely weather, for our food, and most of all, for our warm and friendly population. As a matter of fact, we brought our sunshine with us this morning. These are some contrasts between Malta and Ireland, all right? But as you'll see, we'll have a lot of common grounds, all right? That is our presentation. What we're trying to do is we will try to give you an idea of what we do as a country, as a foundation for educational services, so that at least if we can be of any help, you're most welcome to take on our hints. So what is the Foundation for Educational Services? Our vision and mission basically revolves around these three main items. As a government entity, we are entrusted with early childhood education and care. So basically we run 12 childcare centers, state childcare centers. And then we have the club, what we call club, and Skola Sajf, the summer school. The club is a non-formal club which runs back to back with formal schooling. So if schooling in Malta is between 8:30 and 2:30 in the afternoon, all right, the club runs after school hours, between 2:30 and 6, all right? Yes, as an entity, we try to help out parents to balance their work-life balances. Not all parents finish at 2:30 so that they are able to pick up their children. So our service helps them out so that they can have their share of in the world of work, and then they can pick up their children at leisure once they finish up work in the afternoon, all right? Obviously, with the peace of mind that the children are well kept and well in a secure environment, all right, and are well looked after. Yes, but then again, our endeavor is also to fulfill our commitments towards the European goals and targets. So basically, there's the European Social Pillar action to halve the gender gap by 2030, all right? As I think you are well aware, all right, the gender gap in the care division suggests that there are more female employees than than male employees in the care sector. There's the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education for all, which I think it is an elusive target despite all our efforts. And there is the European Care Strategy, which builds on Barcelona 2022, all right? Which ensures that the participation rate in childhood education and care of 33.3% of children under 3 years and 90% for children from 3 years and over. Last but not least, in our endeavor, FES tries to instill social skills in the children that we look after. So basically our commitment is threefold: towards the nation, towards the parents, and obviously towards the kids, all right? Because our service at the end of the day is towards the kids. Yes, I'd like to spend just a little few minutes on the European Care Strategy, because as we started with contrasts between the two countries, all right? These are common problems across Europe. So basically, the European Care Strategy ensures quality, affordable, and accessible care services across the EU for both care receivers and caregivers, all right? Yes, the care sector is often characterized by difficult working conditions and relatively low wages. Our constraint, I believe, is also your constraint. When it comes to finding employees to work in this particular sector, it is very, very, very difficult, all right? Obviously, there are labor shortages, all right? And we need to look at the potential of this sector in the creation of jobs. Yes, investment in high quality care also means improving women's participation in the labor market. Now that is a statistic which is very interesting, all right? Yes, women still bear the brunt of care responsibilities, unfortunately. 90% of formal care are women, and 7.7 million women are out of employment because of care responsibilities. Should it be that way? Can we tap on the resources so that at least we can balance care and employment? This goal is very, very important. Long-term care should be timely for for parents, comprehensive, affordable, and accessible. And this is what we try to keep in mind throughout our endeavor, all right? Now this is something which Helena Dalli, the EU Commissioner for Equality, she happens to be Maltese, all right, said. Affordable and accessible quality care ensures that those who receive care, including children and people with disabilities, are empowered and fully enjoy rights. Why did I feel that I had to quote Helena Dalli? Because sometimes all of us would like to provide these services, but it is not always possible. And people have to understand, all right, that we are in this together. And if we understand the situation, and if people understand, parents and national agencies understand that what we're trying to do, all right, is trying to offer the service, perhaps the situation gets a little bit better, all right? But we have to always keep in mind that including children and people with disabilities is a cause for empowerment, and obviously it is a right. Now, what are the services that are offered by FES? As I said before, we offer childcare. We run childcare services in 12 centers for children 3 months to 3 years. Now, just to put you in perspective, Malta runs a free childcare scheme. All parents who work, both parents who work, all right, they are given a number of hours by the government to spend on childcare. Usually the rate for childcare is around €4.50 per hour per child, all right? And parents are assigned at a maximum of 200 hours per week on childcare, per month on childcare, all right? Across all abilities. But obviously, access to children of all abilities, that is something which is quite challenging. And I can tell you why, because childcare in Malta is offered both by the state sector, the public sector, and the private sector, all right? There are employees, and the ratio of carer per child is 1:6 roughly. 1:6 for children between 1 and 3, and for babies of 1:3, all right? The ratio of 1:3 for babies to 1 year old. So when it comes to providing a service to children with disabilities, for example, all right, that is too taxing on the service, because the amount being paid on the free childcare scheme is not enough and is not profitable enough for the service provider to give that service. And that issue of accessibility is somewhat detrimental, and we are trying to do something about that. What is happening is that people are resorting to the public childcare centers, all right, the ones we run. But that means that the public run childcare centers are sort of being ghettoized, all right, and it shouldn't be that way. And we are trying to do something about it, so that at least there is some sort of positive discrimination, all right, positive affirmation, so that parents of persons with disability, at least have a different remuneration with regards to free childcare scheme, the free childcare scheme, all right? But it is a suggestion that we are promoting. Hopefully, it is taken up by the government. We run also the club, as I was saying before, all right, the service in non-formal education that we run after school hours. We run it into 32 schools across Malta, 32 different schools, all right, for all school-age children. Now, during club, parents can pick up their children, obviously, according to their exigencies, all right? Some pick them at 3, at half 3, at 4, what have you, all right, according to their exigencies. This service at the moment is very much parent-oriented. We would like to shift it to be more child-oriented, all right? We would like parents to pick up their children, for example, not according to their needs, but according to the children's needs. Because if their child is doing an activity, usually, more often than not, they are stopped short, all right, so that they can continue. That is a disruption to the class. That is a disruption to the rest of the children who see their peers leaving class early, so that they can reunite with their families. Yes, the club runs during school hours and what we call bridge holidays. All right, what are bridge holidays? I mean, school holiday. We run the club every day when we have the school days, normal school days. But then we have those days, the scholastic days. Enough teachers, for example, schools having a staff development session, for example, or else Easter holidays, carnival holidays, what have you. All right, and then we run the club throughout the day instead of the school session. But also we run it during summer. For the club, we have at the moment 4,000 applicants. All right, 4,000 applicants across the 32 centers. Then we have the summer school program, which runs across 56 centers. It is open for all school-age children between 3 to 16 years. And it runs also in 5 resource centers. By resource centers, we mean centers which are specialized centers for students with disabilities, all right? As the presentation will show you as we go along, all right? Students with disabilities are either in mainstream schooling, but then there are those with more severe disabilities that they would benefit more from a specialized center, all right? And we run also the scholarship from these 5 research centers. Last summer, this summer school ran for 11,000 students, all right, of which 139 were from resource centers. The summer school is an 8 weeks long program from Monday to Friday. To be able to offer our services, FES employs around 2,000 part-time employees and 500 employees to run the club. Now that is a big issue, and I mean a very difficult issue, because what sort of employees are we employing, all right? When we turn to teachers to fulfill their obligations, because after all we are working with children, and children need specialized persons, professional persons to tend to them. Teachers finish off their work at 2:30. And obviously they need to go to continue with their life. So basically in the afternoon, we do not have that large a pool of teachers ready to do a part-time job to help us in our endeavor. So we have to turn to students, to university students, all right, to MCAST students, the College for Arts and Science, all right, and maybe on parents who are on leave or have not yet returned to the labor market, so that they can help us tend to the children. These are not teachers, these are not trained teachers. We have to offer the training for the task involved. A task which is a very highly responsible task, and we need to show them, to tell these employees the onus, the burden of the responsibility they are carrying, and that is quite a task. So this is basically just to put you in perspective what this scholarship, we call it in Maltese, it's summer school, which means summer school, is all about. All right? The core service is offered between 8:30 and 12:30, but during summer we offer also we start offering the service as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. All right? And in some cases we are open until 5:30, even 6 in the afternoon. All right? Please do bear in mind, okay? We use educational institutions. We use schools in Malta. All right? Schools which are, to date, not all of them air conditioned. A summer in Malta is very difficult. All right? With temperatures ranging up to 40 degrees. All right? And to have a kid at school from 7 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon, I wouldn't want my son to be there. But this is a service which needs to be offered, because I understand that not all parents, not even a single one, would like to part with their son, with their daughter, but they have to. So we have to offer a quality service. All right? The resource centers. This is a service which runs from 8 till 3. It is quite a little bit of a different service from the mainstream, because it includes transport as well. It includes transport to parents of students with severe disabilities to and from their respective residences. So transport starts at 8 We take them to the center, they have the full day, and then they leave at around 1:30, 2, so that by the end of the day, by 3, they are all in their respective homes and residences. Up till last year, not this summer, last year, 2021, the service in the resource centers was offered on 3 days only, due to logistical problems. As of this summer, we started offering this service on a 5-day program, all right? But basically, how do we run the service? How do we run the service? As I was saying, we have the mainstream schools and then we have the resource centers. The summer school runs basically as a normal school, with the headmaster, with the assistant head of school, or with the teachers and with what have you. But again, they are not teachers, so the nomenclature should be different. All right? We have the center coordinator, which runs the center. We have the play worker with extra responsibilities. Acts as an assistant head of school, assists the head in the normal running of the school, keeping rosters, keeping attendances, doing errands, doing all the chores, the dirty work. Then we have the play worker. The play worker is in charge of the class, usually in a ratio of 1:20. All right? He's not a teacher, or she's not a teacher. She's in charge of the class, in charge of implementing the activity assigned to that particular class. We have the child support worker. The child support worker is like a learning support assistant in charge of students with special educational needs. Now, as you all know, we have students who need just that extra help, so that they can be included more in the activity. All right? But then we have those students who need to have a particular plan on their own to work out in class. Ironically, while during formal education teachers are paid more than learning support assistants, in our system, the learning support assistant, the child support worker, is paid more than the play worker. Because as a requirement, we ask of the child support worker to have at least a level 4 diploma. Because if we cannot entrust a class with a play worker who is not accustomed, who is not familiar with pedagogical aspects of dealing with children, how can we entrust a student with disabilities to a person who doesn't have the least idea about disability? That is highly risky and highly immoral in my belief. Right? But at least we try to do that. Now that puts us in a very awkward situation, because the ratio of the child support worker is usually 1:1, whereas the play worker has to attend 1:20 students and they're paid less. So sometimes play workers, because of the extra remuneration, would want to work as a child support worker rather than and it is a double-edged sword. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Then we have the regional coordinator. Regional coordinator acts like an inspector, sort of, all right? Goes around centers, has a number of centers, to see that they are implementing the program, they are doing what is expected out of the summer school project. And we have two. We have the regional coordinator, which goes around to see that the program is implemented, that the rosters and the attendances and what have you are all in place. But then we have the inclusion coordinator, which tends to those students who are being tended by the child support workers, and those students who need help but have not been identified yet. All right? So we help out to identify these students, see what their issues are, in what ways we can help them, and if need be, we offer them our services of the child support worker. Obviously, there is support from head office. We run obviously the Foundation for Educational Services, which is different entities. We have this HR, we have the services, we have the programs department, we have the finance department, and we help out in this program. The resource centers, all right, the resource centers. A very similar program, but a little bit different. We have the center coordinator, obviously, which runs the service. We do not have play workers in the resource centers. We have play workers with extra responsibilities. Just as much as assistant heads of schools are paid differently from teachers, to lure specialized staff to work with us during the summer, all right, we recruit them, we employ them as play workers with extra responsibilities so that they have that extra remuneration from the play worker. We recruit also child support workers to help out, now it's the other way around, to help out the play worker with extra responsibilities as class assistants. All right? The ratio in the resource centers is 1:2. 1:2. One play worker with extra responsibilities for every 2 students with severe disabilities. We have a regional coordinator, especially for the resource centers. At head office, we have the program coordinator inclusion, which tends to all the difficulties that resource centers and children with special educational needs, both in mainstream and in resource centers, all right, to tend to their difficulties in particular. Obviously, also we offer support from head office. We offer also the services of a nurse in each and every resource center, and we offer also physio and speech therapists, not every day, but on a 3 day per week basis. As I was saying, all right, our play workers are not teachers, and we do not expect them to be teachers because they are not. So basically what we do when we recruit staff and we interview staff, what we do is that we see that they have the aptitude and the right attitude towards the job. They are caring, they are responsible, they want to work with children, they love children, that is very important, all right? But then the pedagogical aspect, the program aspect, that is something which Therese and her department works on, all right? So basically, we offer our play workers a kind of recipe book, a daily recipe book with activities. What they have to do, the play workers, is just prepare, all right? Just look at the resource pack that we provide them. And they say, okay, so this is the activity that I have to do. They prepare it. They have all the necessary resources which the center coordinator prepares for them, all right? And then they implement that activity in class, all right? So this inclusive program keeps in mind all the pedagogical aspects involved with the summer school. The age of the students, obviously, which ranges from 3 to 16, and these students are placed obviously in different classes according to age. All right, the different abilities, the interests, the resources, and the safety of children. Even when we think about games, for example, we are thinking about structured games. All right, and the learning outcomes associated with those with those structured games. It is a bank of resources that includes both physical activities and thematical activities. Skola Sajf works around a team. This year, our team was Earth Heroes Unite, for example. And then, each and every week, they had a particular topic to work upon. All right? And all the activities were around that particular topic. The play workers have to submit their activity plan to the center coordinator. All right? The center coordinator vets that activity plan and plans accordingly. So if activity A needs this amount of resources, the center coordinator has to prepare those resources so that the play worker can tap on those resources. All right? Moreover, as of this year, we have introduced another measure. And the measure is that given the small remuneration that play workers get, that child support workers get, all right, when they have to prepare their activity plan, what we did is we have introduced a 10%, let's say, performance bonus. And this performance bonus is assigned if the play worker has submitted the activity plans in time to the center coordinator and is implementing these activity plans in class. Because as you very well know, I can say that I am doing this activity, and then I go to class, I switch on the interactive whiteboard, and let the kids watch Peppa Pig throughout the day. That is something I think which goes around, not only in Malta. All right? So what we are doing as a check, as a quality control check, is that we are putting the onus of responsibility on the center coordinator, and we're telling her, listen, it is up to your discretion if you grant the 10% increase to the play worker, right? And the parameters are the activity plan, which has been submitted, and the implementation of the activity plan that you will notice when you go around the center and you watch that this is being implemented. Then again, as a structure, when our program coordinators from head office, the inspectors sort of, go around the centers, all right, they can vet what is going on. And if, for example, I see Therese, all right, not implementing the program, and Therese is having her performance bonus on a weekly basis, then I'll have to ask the center coordinator what is happening here. And there is that circle of accountability, sort of. Okay? This inclusive program, okay, we also provide a reference document that suggests adaptations for the various domains presented in the general programs. So that child support workers, when they are going to adapt the activities to the student with special educational needs, all right, and they don't have the very basic idea, at least this reference document helps them out to plan accordingly, all right, in different learning areas, obviously tackling the early sensory ages to more cognitive, challenging tasks. As I said, this program is prepared exclusively by our team, by a specialized department within head office. We have 5 resource centers in Malta. 5 resource centers. San Miguel, Guardian Angel, Helen Keller, and we have another 2. But basically, San Miguel is a specialized resource center for the primary school age students. All right. Then we have the Guardian Angel, which is for the secondary level students between 11 and 16 years old. The Helen Keller Resource Center, all right, which caters for PMLD students from 12 till 16. So basically, students are according to ages put in different resource centers, all right? And then we have another 2. One in Wardija, which is a post-16 resource centers. We have parents of students with disabilities that after 16 years, after they are out of the formal educational system, they do not have a place where they can leave their kid, their daughter, in a safe and secure place. So basically, the Wardija Center acts along those lines. Sannat is in Gozo. Malta, as I was saying, we have a sister island, right? A smaller yet island, right? And Sannat is in Gozo. All of these centers are equipped with specially designed classrooms, therapeutic areas, hydrotherapy pools, visual rooms, multisensory equipment, and what have you. All right? They are very, very well equipped. This is our lovely Malta, all right? Surrounded by the blue sea. 4 centers around Malta. Look at the close proximity between centers. And that helps us in our program, because context is key, all right? And then we have one in Gozo. As I said before, our service in the resource centers up to 2021 was offered across 3 days per week during the summer months, obviously due to the availability of specialized staff. It was not open on the other 2 days. It was not open during scholastic holidays. We could not open it during Christmas, Easter, Carnival. And obviously parents were complaining. Why is it that I, who need the service most, cannot access this service? And they were right. Obviously they were right. But we were right as well. I mean, how can I offer you a service if I don't have any staff to work? I cannot. I cannot do the impossible. But yes, FES, our Foundation for Educational Services, as a government entity, were failing to provide equal opportunities. Parents' associations and the National Commission for People with Disability, they were breathing down our neck. And rightly so. Right? Then again, in 2021, FES made a commitment with the National Commission for People with Disability to extend the service in 2022 across 5 days during summer. That was a commitment. A commitment which was taken a year earlier, so that we have ample time to work upon this project. But then all of a sudden, coming end of summer, August, there was a ministerial direction to start offering the service during scholastic holidays as of September 21. And that took us unawares. All right? We had to live up to our expectation. Obviously, there was a good take-up by the parents, but low turnout of staff. And we had to try to make ends meet. Did we manage? Yes, we did manage. But how we managed was the problem, all right? Staff from head office were running the centers, all right? We outsourced our service to the contractor, to a particular contractor. Obviously, these persons did not know the kids, did not know the students, did not know the particular disability, all right? Did not know the routes from where to pick up the students, from where to leave the kids afterwards. And these teething problems despite the fact that the service was offered, all right, helped us and opened our eyes to the difficulties, and in some sort of a matter, it helped us plan better next time round. All right? But at least it did send the message to our staff, to the parents, that no matter what, we mean business. This service is going to happen. This is something that is going to happen. That was in 2021. 2022, there has been an intense, multi-pronged, concerted effort to succeed in our intent. And our battle call was, we are all in this together. I know that parents have difficulties. I know that parents need to go to work. But parents need to understand that we do not have sufficient workers. So what we did was, we changed our approach. We held again meetings with the Commissioner for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. We held meetings with parents' lobby groups. We held meetings with all the parents of the students who attend the resource centers. Meetings with all the staff who work in the resource centers, all right, to establish our intent and commitment to offer this service. And obviously to eliminate any form of social discrimination against these persons. Now, this communication helped us very much in our endeavor, as you'll see. Parents were involved from the early stages, from the early planning stages, throughout the process. They knew exactly what was going on, the difficulties that we were encountering. The first holidays that came after January, January, were the carnival holidays. All right, they knew that we were going to try and open the service. We asked them, what would the uptake be? We informed them that if the uptake would be low, it would not make sense to open all 5 centers, and that we were going to centralize our services in just 1 center or 2 centers. And if they would consider sending their kids in just 1 center, right? And they knew exactly what was going on, step by step. They were on board with us, all right? And that helped us, because they understood that we were on the same side of the coin. We listened to their concerns, because I can empathize, but I do not know your problem. I'm not part of your problem. And they can only listen, and they can only try to help. I cannot patronize what you are passing through, all right? But at least if I listen, and by listen means active listening, all right? They understand that something is being done about it, all right? We established a direct point of contact and support. Parents were complaining that they were at a loss. They're phoning here, there, they're phoning the minister in Malta, power of incumbencies, obviously. All right? They had a particular point of reference to contact. We also explained to the staff the way forward. In the previous model, when we operated on a 3-day model, we had offered the staff and told them, listen, we understand that you are the persons that can only run the service. You know the kids, you know the students. Let's try and reach a compromise. And the compromise was, we are offering you to take up a long weekend during summer. So basically, they were not working on Friday, they were not working on Monday, they were working Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And the scholastic staff were having this extended long weekend every week. So we explained to the staff that now that we have to work forward for a 5-day service, all right? We were going to try and customize a roster to work around this 3-day shift, but not necessarily Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right? And it worked along those lines. It was very difficult, believe me. It was very, very difficult. But at least we managed. We managed. Obviously, the staff were aided by the child support workers, as I explained before. Simultaneously, because we knew that we were at the mercy of our staff. If the staff did not accept the situation, if we did not have enough staff to run the service, that would have been a big difficulty. We were exploring different scenarios for the provision of the service. All right? We were exploring subcontracting the service to a specialized contractor. All right? And then at one point, we thought that we had arrived there. But then again, we did not manage. Why? Because this specialized contractor was poaching our staff. There is only one pool of resources. I mean, if I'm not tapping in it, somebody else is tapping in it. There is also a private therapy center in Malta. It's very, very, very costly. And again, we tried to establish a partnership with this particular center. Did we manage? No, we did not. Because, as I showed you before, the number of employees needed is large. And this private therapy center has only a handful of employees. We appointed one contact person to continue meetings with the staff. And what we did is this. This one person that we appointed works with us part-time, obviously. But he is a head of school of one of the resource centers. We were lucky because he had not the power, he had influence over his staff. He had influence over the staff of other centers. And that helped us. Yes, it did help us. We were lucky. We were lucky in that regard. And this particular person could work on rosters, could discuss rosters with his staff, could conduce the staff to work with us. We launched applications earlier than before so that it helped us plan ahead better. All right? We roped in all persons that could help us. College principals of the formal educational systems, heads of schools, what have you. We roped in everyone who could help us in this endeavor because we believed in our mission, in our intent, in our commitment. Obviously, we had to subcontract nursing services as well. This is the biggest issue, transport. All right, because we are offering the service, as I told you, not only by opening the resource centers, but also by providing transport to and fro the particular homes. All right, and for each and every student, they need a carer on board. And that is very difficult to do. The logistics behind it is terrible. We have families who need a pickup from point A and then the drop-off point to point B. obviously for family reasons. All right? It was very complex. And when a member of staff was sick or absent, early in the morning, it's not like at school you can replace him. On transport, you cannot do that. And more often than not, we had center coordinators as early as 6 in the morning. They had to travel. So if, for example, they are in the south of Malta, let alone the distance, all right? They had to travel to the north just to be on the transport with the kid, to take to the center, and then it was a logistical nightmare. Thank God for these persons who have their heart in the right place and could help us in this regard. But it was very taxing. So basically, that was our success story. During 2022, we managed to offer the service during Carnival, Easter, Bridge holidays, and the whole week throughout Schola Site. So basically, each and every day, calendar year, all right, we opened the resource centers and mainstream schools, obviously, to persons with disability and to all our clients. Ratio of 1 carer for every 2 persons, specialized transport, and this is a cost-free, affordable services, because this is a free service after all. In Malta, clients do not pay for this service. All right? To be truthful, to be honest, they only pay a nominal fee of 25 euros for the whole of the service. It's a commitment against the huge investment that the government does in this regard. We have to make the road, obviously, by walking it. All right? The issue of specialized staff is common not only to Malta and Ireland, but across, I think, the world, wherever this service is trying to be provided. People with disability not only require dedicated staff, but specialized staff who understand their disability and know their needs. If I had to ask you, do you know where I can get these? Because I don't. The staff is usually the morning educators who need a much deserved break during the holidays, obviously. They are awaiting that break so that they can rest. Because if they do not rest, then the rest of the scholastic year, they will be a wreck. So they need to respite as well, these persons. We are gambling on their goodwill. And we are gambling on their goodwill. And sustainability is not guaranteed. As I am speaking right now, we are about to offer the service in November, the midterm holidays. As of yesterday, I did not have enough staff to offer the service. And we are trying to make ends meet. So the fact that we managed last year doesn't guarantee in any way that we will manage this year. But we keep on trying. We'll keep on trying. We'll keep on trying to think outside of the box so that the service keeps on going. Yes, the transport provision was too taxing at times, despite the close proximity of residences to centers. All right? We had issues where the transport was caught in heavy traffic and those students spent hours on the bus when they cannot spend hours on the bus. It's a pity, I know, but what can we do? There is so much that we can do. Should we stop the transport service? No, because that would mean that parents have to bring their kids to school as well. But at least we have to compromise. What we did was, in those cases where we had families asking us for a pickup A and a drop off B, we told them, listen, we're offering you this service. At least give us that. You have a pickup A and drop off A. and then you manage from drop of B to drop of B. Do not bend us double more than we are bending. All right? Specialized stuff is not readily found off the shelf. Similar entities, as I said before, are poaching the same pool of stuff for a variety of services offered. What we can do, again, the European care strategy, is perhaps increase the benefits and better working conditions. But that is not within our control, unfortunately. There is so much what we have under our control, what we can control, what we can provide, we are doing our utmost to provide. But yes, we are pushing very hard so that we better the conditions. Before I mentioned that as of this year, we offered a 10% bonus. Seems only a little bit of euros, no? But when you consider it in the large sphere, that would inflate our budget very, very much. So yes, we can offer, but up to a certain extent. We would suggest, and in fact we are suggesting this, a harmonization of similar services. There are so many initiatives along the same lines that what we're having is, we have initiative A from Foundation A, all right? They are finding it difficult to find stuff. Then we have an initiative from a Foundation B. Again, they're finding it difficult. So why don't we harmonize our services together? And instead of offering two different services, we just offer one, and we combine our efforts together. Right? We have multiple service providers with common limitations. The last point is very difficult. Meeting the demand for the service with a staff who is not specialized risks sacrificing quality for quantity. Risks putting these persons with disabilities in harm's way. We as a foundation are not ready to do that. And if need be, if I had to stop the service not to put the children into harm's way, I'd do it. Honestly, I'd do it. But at least I know that the parents know that what I am doing is not skiving my responsibility, but trying to offer a very good service. And for me and for our foundation, it is either offering a good service or offering none at all. Thank you.